Hi, so today I want to review the Flex menstrual disc. I've written a blog about this, but I just wanted to do a video summary of my thoughts on it. So first I'm going to open it for you. Okay, so this is what the menstrual disc looks like. You can see it's got this flexible ring, right? And then it has kind of a basin there for catching the volume, right? But you don't actually have to be too specific with how you're placing it like that. It's gonna just kind of move and collect as it's supposed to. So this was the first time I'd ever used any sort of menstrual disc, and I was pleasantly surprised. It was actually less painful to insert than I personally think with tampons or menstrual cups, which I have another review of. But yeah, because it's super flexible and actually kind of has a smaller footprint, it wasn't bulky and painful to insert, especially for anyone that's had a history of pelvic pain. I thought that was a really good pro of the disc. It also doesn't tend to cause cramping for women, so sometimes tampons and menstrual cups will cause cramping because they're so bulky and space occupying, right? So just because this is quite a bit smaller, it is usually not going to cause that cramping. And I should have mentioned, when you insert it, you're folding it. There's a few different ways that they teach you how you can insert it, but you're basically placing it right below the cervix. So it's not sitting really superficially. It's pushed up where you shouldn't be able to feel it at all if it's in the right place. And actually that was another great thing that I thought about this particular product with the Flex company, is that they had a lot of great videos and tutorials and different images and stuff like that on their website to help make sure that you were using the product right, because most people probably haven't used something like this before, so it definitely requires that education piece, and they did a really good job with that. I also liked that they report, so let's see, the Flex company says that the disc can hold equivalent to 3 to 5 tampons. So obviously that's nice if you don't feel like you're having to run to the bathroom to change it as often. This is a really good option, especially maybe for someone that has heavier bleeding, if you're sick of using the traditional tampon, right? It also can be disposed of on the go, so another really good positive about it is basically like a tampon, you can just throw it away in a garbage can in the bathroom and you don't have to worry about it. So like with a menstrual cup, you're trying to empty it out and wash it and then reinsert it, and so you would need to have a sink by you, right? But with the disc, you don't need to. You just carefully remove it and throw it away. You can also just order a subscription based on your needs. So looking at the Flex website, you can just buy in the subscription of how often you think you'll need new products, so that's really nice. And then also safety-wise, there's no link to toxic shock syndrome at this point with the studies that have been done, so it seems like a pretty safe product. And then my final pro of this product is that it doesn't create a seal. So you're placing it there and it's more just biomechanically, right, being held just from the tissue around it approximating, right, and holding it there at the base of the cervix. But you're not actually suctioning to the base of the cervix or creating any of that push or pull that can happen with the menstrual cup. So that was really awesome also. For me, it was much more comfortable than the menstrual cup. Cons though, it was messy. So it's just a basin, right? And that menstrual fluid is gonna be kind of messy when you're trying to reach in and remove it. You're basically it's not gonna be like a tampon where it's all absorbed and you're just throwing it in the garbage without any mess, holding onto a string, right? So with the disc, you're gonna get a little messy. I didn't love that. I was like, ugh, I'm pretty like body conscious, like, okay, I know my anatomy, I know how this is supposed to be in here, and I still felt like there's just no way to avoid getting messy. Another big con was that I did have some leakage when I was wearing it. So because it doesn't have that seal or suction, it was kind of possible just with moving around that I ended up leaking around it, which is kind of a bummer. And as I mentioned, I had to, fold it up and manually insert it and kind of be able to get it in the right position. And so for someone that maybe doesn't feel comfortable doing that, doesn't have a really good awareness of their anatomy, and maybe just doesn't like the idea of the messiness, right? That might be a deterrent. You might just think that this isn't a good product for me. Similar to tampons, it is not very earth friendly, right? So it's disposable. So you have to order a packet of these and you're gonna throw them away every single time. So not reusable. I actually have no idea as far as sustainability of the products that they're using compared to like a cotton tampon, but it's not something that you're washing and reusing. So definitely not as earth friendly as something that's reusable. It's also relatively new to the market, and so I worry about access. So you might be able to get them online pretty easily, but you're probably not going to find them in a lot of grocery stores. So you're on a road trip and you need to like restock. You're not just going to be able to jump into any grocery store and find the product that you've been using or that you've been looking for. So that's kind of a bummer. Hopefully as they become more popular, they'll be more accessible. And so if this is a really good product that you really like to use, then you'll be able to find it. But that's a downfall for me for right now. So overall, I thought this was an interesting experiment. I would rate it like a 7 out of 10 because messy, leaked a little bit, disposable, not that earth friendly. Those are all the cons, but those pros, it was pretty comfortable. It didn't feel like it was pinching or creating that suction or anything like that that can be really uncomfortable when you're getting used to a new menstrual product. So there was no cramping or anything like that. And I just like the idea of having something that is maybe less bulky, space occupying like the traditional tampon. So yeah, I would say this is a pretty good product, especially for someone that maybe wants to avoid changing a menstrual product as often. Like they said, 3 to 5 tampons worth of menstrual fluid, that's pretty impressive. So if you can comfortably do that without leaking, I think it might be a really good product for you. All right, thank you.